Cool. So here back at some more mobility stuff because it's mobility month at Rob McDonald Coaching. So we're looking at lower back mainly and some hip flexors. So people who have back pain or muscle tightness, joint stiffness. So you mean non-specific back pain, not sciatica or discogenic pain. So people who just have localized back pain from sitting down or standing for long periods, or getting that tweak from just lifting. Cool. So if we look at the back model here, so we're going to get in with single leg cross ball into your top of your glutes, joint mobilizations of the lumbar spine along here, and then we can get into QL along here that runs from the ribs down across the back, and then we'll get into the hip flexors again, iliacus and psoas along the front here, using the lacrosse ball again, and then we'll do a double lacrosse ball or a tennis ball to help mobilize again along the lumbar spine, and then the erector spinae or paraspinals that run all the way along. But we're going to focus again just on either side. So to help things with like rotation and side flexion and extension. Yeah, so let's get started. So we're going to go with single lacrosse ball, and we'll get in again to the top of the kind of glutes and the spine. So getting onto your back. Okay. So again, you want to lift your hips. You don't want to drop your hips and overextend. Okay. And then you can kind of shift keeping your shoulders down, you can kind of shift your weight side to side. Yeah. And then you can kind of slide the ball down further, or slide the ball up your back, get higher up in your lumbar spine. And again, not dropping hips, and adding more pressure by dropping to the side that the ball is on. Yeah. And then again, you can position the ball more laterally towards QL. And again here, you'll probably find the lacrosse ball works a bit better for this than the tennis ball, but either will work. And again, so you're kind of flossing through back and forth. And then when you find that tight spot, you want to contract the muscle and relax. So you contract, so you tighten all your core for 5 to 10 seconds, and then you relax, and you should find the ball sink deeper into the muscle. And again, you can position it just kind of at the top of the kind of glutes as well, or top of your pelvis where your glutes attach. And again, just coming in there. And again, just not dropping your hips. Because again, if you drop your hips, you overextend, and we don't want that in the lumbar spine. Okay? And then you can go either again, double lacrosse ball or double tennis ball. And again, I'll show you from behind. Getting in here just to the side. Yeah. And obviously you can do both sides. So getting these tight paraspinals. And again, you can kind of roll side to side, dropping the hips. And again, you can contract and relax. So contract and relax. Yeah. You can also do it with getting your feet up on the chair. Same idea. Getting the ball in. And again, try not to drop your hips. And you might just find it a bit more comfortable having your feet up and kind of relaxed. And again, contracting and relaxed, and then contract, relax next, so contracts your core and your lower back. Once you find that tight spot, and then relax and let the ball sink deeper into the muscle. Okay, and then going to do some mobilizations. So again, so if you've got a muscle spasm, and you're very, very tight in your lower back, and you feel like your pelvis is off. So the physiotherapist might come in and place his hands on on your pelvis, on the posterior superior iliac spine or the anterior iliac spine, and assess that way. And again, getting you to flex to see if one side of your pelvis is moving more than the other. So it's your hip flexors and your hamstrings that attach to your pelvis and your adductors. So if you can get those firing equally both sides, that can reset your pelvis essentially. So coming in onto your back. So what we want to do is push up so you're activating the hip flexors on one side and then the hamstrings on the other by pushing down. So you're pushing that way and pushing up on the other way. Yeah? It's like on a bike, I guess. So again, you're here and you push 5 seconds and relax and change. Push again, 5 seconds as pain allows and relax. And you repeat that cycle 3 to 4 times, and then you get get a ball, and then you're coming in and squeezing the ball, getting your adductors working. Again, you squeeze 5 seconds, relax, squeeze 5 seconds and relax, and again repeating that 4 to 5 times as well. And then you might hear a cavitation or a clunk in your pelvis spine, and then you could retest yourself what movement was painful. So if here was painful, repeat the movement. If it feels better, then you know that technique is going to work for you. Then going into some kind of mobility work. So if we look at some rotation of the spine, you can just come in to lying again into this position. Yeah, or an easier version is just doing your knee dropouts. Yeah, the knee rolls. But again, if you want to add some traction to the hip, then you're coming in like so, getting a band in towards the hip and groin. And again here, and again coming across. Again, make sure that your shoulders always stay flat, that you're not rolling over, defeats the purpose. And coming into this position. Yeah, so you're getting some traction in the hip as well. And then what are we looking at next? So getting into one last stretch for more your obliques. Again, I'm quite tight in my hips and hip flexors. Quite tight in my hips, so coming across here. Again, ideally getting that leg across. And then it's got an opener of your oblique. So you keep your body up tall. Okay, so don't flex forward, body up tall here. And then coming across. Yeah. Trying to relax into it again. Don't slouch forward. Keep your upper body up tall. You will feel a stretch as well around the hips. And then getting into tight hip flexors. So the first option is just the cross ball. So you come just laterally of your belly button to the side, okay? And then apply pressure with hands. Down in, okay? And then you tack that down, and then you're sliding your leg forward and back. And you should feel the muscle kind of floss through it. And then you can also drop it down onto the outside. And that's in a more gentle way. Then you can grab a kettlebell if you had one. Again, I know not everyone's going to have a kettlebell. So I'm going to show you another alternative. So again here, letting the weight come down. Again, sliding out. And dropping the knee out as well. And again, you can do the same by popping your legs up on a chair. So you get into this position. This time you're doing some extension. So if you had tight hips and say some sciatic issues, You could do this nerve floss. So you're stretching that sciatic nerve posteriorly. And then another option is coming to the bed. So again with a kettlebell. So you could do this as a test beforehand. So if I'm looking at my right hip flexor doing your Thomas test, so coming here, if you're tight in your hip flexor or even your quads, your leg will come up here, and that'll be a good indication that you're tight. So again, coming in here. And again, just letting the leg drop down. Again, adjust the ball as needed. So again, dropping the ball down, letting that leg hang. You can kind of rotate your hip in and out as well to get that floss, and then you can kind of roll the kettlebell, get some more flossing action. And that's it. So that's hip flexors and lower back mainly. Yeah, thanks very much.